You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. Ride Like a Local is brought to you in part by Community Futures, Grand Prairie and Region. This is Belt Drive Betty. I'm in Saskatoon for the Power Sports Expo. And I'm being joined right now by Kevin Jones from the Canadian Legion of Riders. They're the group that, if you recall from last season, won the Johnny Peg motorcycle in the Military Riding Club Challenge. So tell me, Kevin, a little bit about how it's been for you guys since you won that challenge.
Oh, we got national recognition and we've been gaining members from all across Canada. And we've been promoting the bike now for 5 or 6 months, and the ticket sales been doing very well.
And that's going to be a big financial plus for your organization, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is. Last year we raffled off the Johnny Peg Spider, and we give $23,000 away to our veteran-oriented charities. So this year, without having to pay for the motorcycle, we're going to gain another $5,000 or $6,000 from that.
So that is a huge impact. And let's refresh people's memories a little bit. What does the Canadian Legion of Riders raise the funds for?
Well, we're a charity nonprofit, and we can basically earmark our money to whatever charity we want to. Over the last 6 years, we've been working on the Veterans Unmarked Graves project, which is completed now. And that was we spent over $100,000 on marking over 100 graves in North Battleford City Cemetery, all veterans, Allied and Canadian veterans. So far we branched out. We found a few more in other locations that we're going to carry on the project, a little slower pace. And now we're focusing on our living veterans, the ones that are back from war. And we'll see what happens. We haven't earmarked any money in any particular place yet, but we're looking at it.
Well, it's a lot of good work you guys have done with the Canadian Legion of Riders, and I really appreciate you taking some time with me today, Kevin.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everything you've done for us also.
And I'm being joined by one of the board members of the Saskatoon Cystic Fibrosis Ride. And Mr. Frei, tell me a little bit about why you came to be involved with the CF Ride and what it means to you.
4 years ago, my daughter Alina was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and it happened that I wanted to help find a cure for CF, and it happened that there was a cystic fibrosis ride already set up 10 years beforehand in Saskatoon. So, and I also happened to ride bike at the same time. So it worked out really, really well. Something that I really enjoy and I'm passionate about. So that's how I got involved.
Tell our audience a little bit about CF, because a lot of people don't really understand what cystic fibrosis is.
I did a calculation a couple days ago. My daughter so far at 4 years old has had upwards of 75,000 pills that she eats every time, or she needs every time she eats. So it involves a digestive disorder that she needs pills, and it also needs therapies an hour a day for her lungs. So it's the number one disease in genetic disease in Canadians right now. So 1 in 25 of us actually carry the gene for cystic fibrosis. So.
That's scary.
It is. There's a lot of people that have it that maybe don't even know they have it. So it's getting to be more and more common with newborn screening. They're testing babies now for the disease. So.
And the money that you guys raise from the Ride for the Breath, what exactly does that fund?
A good portion of it goes to research. A good portion goes for information to inform the public. A good portion goes to running cystic fibrosis clinics throughout Canada. There is a clinic at our university hospital in Saskatoon. I think there's 11 clinics throughout Canada that the money is to have specialized nurses and doctors on site to actually know how to treat the disease.
As a parent, watching your beautiful daughter struggle with this disease, what goes through your mind when you get on your motorcycle and you've got 100 bikes behind you? What goes through your mind?
Well, last year, the bike ride in Saskatoon was at the end of May, and in Saskatchewan, you kind of know that we get sometimes rain and snow during that time, and last year we got rained out through the ride and we got somewhat snowed on. And you know, we were riding through this rain and it was hard to breathe, and you know, all this water coming on us, it was just miserable. And you know, I stopped and my friends, we all talked, and you know, it was kind of surreal to feel that possibly we were going through a small little dose of what my daughter has to go through on a daily basis, through hard breathing and just uncomfortable circumstances all the time. So that was a moment, I think, that really touched a lot of close people to us and myself. So.
And to know that you have the support of so many riders helping to make a difference has to make a parent's heart feel pretty good about the community that they live in.
Oh yeah. It's we had a fundraising event last week, and it was sold out within a matter of a week, and we raised a lot of money and a lot of awareness, and the support was just it was great. My daughter was there walking around with her little box collecting coins and stuff like that, and a lot of people can't believe how well she's doing and how well she looks, but just to see that and the community come together it's really great. So.
Where can people find out more about the CF Ride for a Breath and more about your chapter in particular?
Well, it's a national ride. There's events throughout the country. So there's a rideforbreath.ca, which is will tell you the information to a ride in your local area, and that would give you a direct link to our ride as well, which is the Saskatoon North chapter. There's a very popular ride in Regina as well that's been going on close to 30 years, and it's amazing to see some of the events throughout Canada just flourishing, and we're trying to make that a possibility here in Saskatoon as well.
I got a feeling knowing this community, you'll do just fine.
I think so.
Thank you for taking some time with me.
Growing communities one idea at a time is Community Futures Grand Prairie and Region, providing business planning, cash flows, market research, and business loans. Visit www.cfofgp.com to see how we can help you.
You bought your bike from the brand you trust the most. That's what Dalton Timmis is for your insurance options. As a specialized motorcycle insurance carrier, we can get you the best coverage, customized to fit you at the very best price. Call 1-888-385-8466 or visit daltontimmis.com now to get your free quote.
Hi, Betty, and I'm being joined right now by Douglas Fink. He is a tattooist here at the Power Sports Expo in the tattoo side of the show. And Douglas, tell me a little bit about your shop and the style of tattooing that you do.
I've been doing Western style machine tattooing for 16 years, and recently I've got a tabori teacher from Japan that I've been learning traditional Japanese hand tattooing, which is a couple 100-year-old way of doing tattoos. Metal needles similar to machine tattooing, but poked in by hand. So I do machine outline and then shading and coloring by hand.
And what's the advantage of doing it the Japanese way?
I wouldn't say there's an advantage. It'd be kind of comparing using hand tools to wood carve as opposed to grinders and machine work. So people that are interested in handcrafted stuff like timber framed house compared to a 2x4 house would be people that would be interested in that style.
So what kind of client do you find enjoys this kind of tattooing?
People that would be into one Japanese traditional, imagery and culture, and most people that are instantly, interested in it are people that are into handcrafted anything. Most of the people are collectors of that kind of, wood carving, sculpture, anything that's handmade is what makes them happy.
So Douglas, tell me a little bit about why you decided to get into this kind of tattooing. It's very unusual to see your skill at very many of these shows here in Canada anyway.
I've just always been into Japanese, same thing, martial arts, culture, tattooing, and to try and find someone that's a traditional tattooist that will teach anyone is super hard. So I just got lucky and found my teacher, and been going back and forth to Japan. He comes to my shop and I watch him work, so it's just, I've been really lucky. If you're trying to find it, it's might not be possible, or someone might charge you money for the wrong reason. I just got really lucky to find someone that was willing to find someone like me that was enthusiastic to try and spread the art form. So that's why I'm here, is to talk to people about it. Not even if I'm tattooing all those people, a lot of people are interested in just the history of it.
That's wonderful. Now, where would a person find you and your shop?
My shop's in Calgary, and I think to date I'm the only person that's doing tabori in Canada. There's a few people in the States and some Japanese people that have moved to the US. So yeah, you can look up bushidotattoo.com and then send me an email, and I'll take any new tabori clients. Machine people, I'm not taking new clients. So
if you're into Japanese tattooing, Calgary and Doug Fink, they can help you. Thank you. And I'm being joined right now by Janice from Freedom Heated Clothing, made in Esterhazy, Saskatchewan. Tell me, 14 years being in business, how's it feel, girl?
Awesome. Going strong, gonna keep on going.
Right on. Now, you offer riders a way to extend their riding season through heated gear. You have the heated gloves, vests, jackets, and chap liners.
As well, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the product and why our audience should consider extending their riding season by using electric gear.
Well, we all love motorcycling, so why not be comfortable? You can't physically warm your body with just layers. This product actually generates heat, keeps you toasty warm. It's like cruising on your bike with an electric blanket wrapped around you, keeping you all nice and cozy.
You guys do a little bit different things from some of the other heated products that are out there, and one of the things that you've done is you actually made it so that your collars are heated.
Yes. Like the vest, for example, has full heat in the front, the back. The collars flip up, zip up, and they're heated as well. Like years ago, I used to wear a bandana to keep my chin and my cheeks warm. I no longer do that because there's enough heat in the collar to keep my face warm. So, and then the jacket liners are the same. The sleeves are heated in the jacket liners, and they're also, there's a wiring system integrated for the gloves. So if you want to add a leather heated glove, you can just plug it directly into the sleeves, and these are freaking awesome.
Yeah, they are. I have a pair, and I love them. The chap liners I've never tried, so tell us a little bit about how the chap liners fit into the whole program.
Okay, with the chap liners, they provide you with heat down the front of the leg. They have a stretchy lycra on the back, so they fit nice and snug over your blue jeans. They don't bunch up at the back of the knee to cause you any discomfort. They have a low-profile Velcro belt, so it doesn't interfere with your chap belt or your riding pants or so on. They have 2 plugs in the pocket, so you would plug your vest or your jacket into the chap liners, and then you would plug the chap liners into the bike. They come in a small stuff sack like this, because the chap liners you won't wear as often as you will the vest or the jacket. You'll find you're wearing the vest or the jacket on you all the time on the bike. So then when you do get cold, you just plug it in. You've got it on, ready to go. Definitely change your riding experience, making it even greater than it already is. Just to show you how it all works, with the jacket liner, it has plugs in the sleeves that you can plug the gloves directly into, and your wire at the bottom, if you're just wearing the jacket or the jacket and the gloves, you can plug this directly into the bike. If you want to add the chap liners, then you would plug the jacket into the short plug here, and then plug the chap liners into the bike. So everything is made to connect together so that you're only plugging once into the motorcycle. And the chap liners, the jackets, the vest come with the battery cords. It's all included in the price for hooking up to the bike.
Right. Now, how many amps does this run? Like, does a person need to consider getting a larger alternator for their bike? Is it going to do much draw? Tell me about that.
Well, definitely on the newer bikes, they have more than enough power to supply for rider and passenger to be fully dressed. I rode a bike that had a 22 amp charging system for a lot of years, and even on that I could wear a jacket liner, chaps, gloves, with my daughter with a jacket and gloves on as well, and it still didn't drain. My headlight was still shining bright.
And that's an important consideration for a person when they're riding. What is a person looking at to get into it? If you wanted to be fully kitted out, I personally love the jackets because I love the warmth in the sleeves so that cold air isn't going up your arms. So a jacket, a set of gloves, and your chap liners, what's that going to run a person roughly?
Well, the vests are $140. They're a good price point if you're just starting into it or you want to get in at a cheaper price. And they're awesome. The jacket liners are $240, the gloves are $160, and the chap liners are $170. So, for $600-700, I'm not doing the math right now, but it'll definitely change your riding experience.
Well, and it allows you to get out a little bit earlier in the season and to stay out longer in the season, which is what we're all looking for, right?
Yes, definitely.
Now, Canadian owned, Canadian made. What else can we tell people about Freedom Heated Gear?
It is definitely 100% Canadian made, always has been, always will be. I'll stand behind that. And all of our product comes with a full 5-year warranty.
A 5-year warranty, that's an industry first.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
The Sports Camera Store in West Edmonton Mall is your one-stop shop for drift and GoPro action cameras. We carry Canada's largest selection of action cam accessories, along with video sunglasses, hidden and surveillance cameras, and more. Visit www.sportscamerastore.com or stop into our West Edmonton Mall location, lower level by the bay.
Futures Grand Prairie and Region. Business Development Assistance, Business Planning, Cash Flows, Market Research, Business Loans up to $150,000.
Community Futures, growing communities one idea at a time.
I'm being joined right now by Rhonda Cwynar from R.A.G.E, Riders Against Government Exploitation, and they formed a little over a year ago right here to back up their government and their government's insurance, SGI. Rhonda, tell me a little bit about that fight, that challenge that's taken place over the last year and where you guys are now.
The challenge that's taking place is started with SGI pulling motorcycles out of the general pool of vehicles and saying we needed to pay for our own accidents over over the number of motorcycles ridden here in Saskatchewan. Crown Insurance they're our only insurer. It's sort of like saying, oh, by the way, we're just not going to insure you in some ways. If they price us off the road, that's basically what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They keep rates low by spreading the risk over many. So by chopping us out of the pool, they're no longer doing that for motorcycles. And there's other things with our plate insurance in Saskatchewan that has us concerned as well, more so even. Around personal injury and wage replacement insurance. Every motorcycle registration pays on average 77% for that, and every car or truck pays on average 23 to 25% for that. So if you plate a car and a motorcycle, you are in fact paying for that insurance twice. You don't get a discount on the motorcycle for paying for it on your car, or vice versa. So.
Now there's also something interesting about really poor drivers in this province that really has you guys' dander up and has you guys really working hard with SGI to get them to change their minds about how they look at high-risk drivers. Tell us about that.
That's right. In 2003, so a little over 10 years ago, SGI changed our demerit system when it comes to bad driving behavior. Up until then, we were very similar to BC and Alberta and Manitoba in the sense that we had a three-year surcharge on your driver's license if you were a high-risk driver or had certain high-risk behavior. That was taken away and replaced with a one-time $25 per negative demerit point fee. That's it, or billing, they call it. And if you have a collision, you'll be charged an additional maybe $500 if you're at fault. If you have a crown offense, you could be charged up to another $1,000. Again, a one-time fee. So it doesn't, if you don't offend anymore in the next 2 years, there is no additional penalties. If you only get a speeding ticket, you pay just the negative points. It's not proving to be a very effective deterrent of risky driving behavior in this province. As our driving numbers or drivers have increased, so have the number of collisions, tickets, and criminal offenses.
I read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Saskatchewan has the highest motor vehicle fatality rate, or is it collision rate in the country?
It's definitely fatality, and I would say we're probably up there for collision as well. We have really bad drivers here. They just don't. If you don't plate a vehicle in your name, really the only demerit system is the points on your license. It's just not as effective as it was years ago. We've asked SGI to take a look at that because in the 10 years since that program's been introduced, they have altered our vehicle rates 5 times, yet they have done nothing to the demerit system on risky behavior. They've kind of left that at a nice $25. So
it doesn't really give a good driver a whole lot of hope out there. The statistics are your chance of getting caught if you're drunk driving is 1 in 1,000 is what you said earlier?
Right, that was brought out at the Traffic Safety Committee review in the spring, last spring. SGI mentioned that if someone does get caught with a drunk driving in rural Saskatchewan especially, your chance is 1 in 1,000 of getting caught. That's pretty low, and they used that statistic to put to get Cabinet to put another 200 RCMP traffic officers on the road. That's passing through legislation at the moment, but putting another 200 RCMP officers isn't going to happen overnight. It's, you just don't go to the RCMP depot and say, okay, here you go, folks. It just doesn't work that way.
So there's not a lot of protection for people in this province when it comes to drunk drivers. The infrastructure in this province is in hugely bad state of repair. Mm-hmm. There's no incentive to be a good driver, 20% discount when you're paying double insurances for injury and that kind of thing. Really, what's the incentive to be a good driver in Saskatchewan?
There is none. There is none. Aside from the inconvenience of having to get your car fixed or your vehicle fixed or injuries. It certainly isn't a monetary incentive.
How does R.A.G.E plan on taking that whole thing and impacting SGI to get them to change their way of doing things?
We ran some quick numbers around what BC and Manitoba is doing and around what we used to do with the 3-year surcharge on driver's licenses. And using just a $250 per traffic infraction for 3 years, a $500 for at-fault collisions, and $1,000 for criminal code convictions. If you look at a 3-year span, they're leaving $133 million or so on the table every year in infraction costs or fees that they could be receiving. Now, when we mentioned this to SGI, their response was, but if we increase the fines to risky drivers, they won't pay, and they will just drive with no license. Really? Is that your response to making this a system that is self-sustaining. If a business in this province ran a program like that, they would close their doors inside of 3 months. There's just no way to recoup your losses.
Well, and at the end of the day, yes, there will be some people that will drive without a driver's license. They do it every day of the week right across this country. And they do eventually get caught and pay the price. But that's not going to be everybody, because most people do still have a conscience.
That's right. And if it deters accidents from occurring, that's the goal. It's not the money. It's keeping people safer.
Well, Saskatchewan has this knee-jerk reaction that every time there's high collisions, all they want to do is raise rates, and they don't seem to want to really look at the issues.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. We don't have very good causation studies here when it comes to accidents. We have just one insurer, and they are scrambling right now because we're asking them for information that nobody's asking them for. It doesn't exist in some cases. They've just never done it for themselves. In the other side of the coin is our only insurer is also the only overseer of our traffic safety board. A little bit of a conflict of interest there.
Just a little bit. I didn't realize that.
That's right. And it's getting more expensive. Right now, we still have the luxury of being able to say we have reasonable rates, because even though we've had increases on vehicles, on four-wheel vehicles, we still have reasonable rates. Motorcycles are a whole other story.
You guys have your AGM coming up in August, big show and shine. What would you like the audience to know about R.A.G.E and how to get a hold of you?
We are available on Facebook. Just type in R.A.G.E. We're available on your website, Belt Drive Betty. We have a blog area as beltdrivebetty.com/R.A.G.E. We're on our website, saskrage.org. Email saskrage.gmail.com or @gmail.com, and that's basically contact us, email us, let us know how you feel. Our first AGM we're hoping to time it so that it's at the same time as our show and shine to get quorum. So if you're interested in becoming a R.A.G.E member and having a say, just give us a shout and become a member. Memberships are available online. So,
well, thank you again for taking some time with me, and good luck with the fight.
Thank you.